Long ago, in the village of Amatura, there lived a king named Durawa IV. He became king at age 12 after his father, King Daramatu III, passed away. King Daramatu was a powerful ruler with many servants, both men and women. Among them was a servant named Daratu, who was exceptionally loyal. Before King Daramatu died, he gave his son an important instruction. Whenever you face trouble as king, always seek the advice of Daratu. He knows many secrets about the kingdom and the throne. Young King Darawa remembered his father's ways and trusted Daratu's wisdom. Years passed, and Daratu remained by King Darawa's side, helping him rule. But one day, Daratu fell very ill, close to death. Around this same time, King Durawa found himself facing a difficult problem that threatened the peace of the kingdom. He thought of going to Daratu for advice, but the old servant was very sick. In his desperation, King Durawa decided to consult a fortune teller for guidance instead. As the king sought answers, strange things began to happen in Amatura village. The most shocking of all was the sudden disappearance of his son, the heir to the throne. The villagers were frightened, and many of them fled to nearby villages. Despite all of King Durawa's effort to find his son and solve the growing problem in the kingdom failed. One day, as King Durawa sat on his throne, worried and hopeless, an old woman with long gray hair walked into the palace. She looked as though she was about 85 years old, and her eyes seemed to burn with wisdom. She stared straight at the king. "Abomination!" the old woman shouted. King Durawa stood up, confused by her words. He was about to ask what she meant when she shouted again, "Abomination!" Curious and worried, King Durawa asked, "What do you mean, old mother? What abomination are you speaking of?" The old woman told him to sit back on his throne. "I have a secret to show you, my son," she said. Slowly, she reached into her woven bag and brought out a small wooden mirror. "Look into this mirror and you will see the truth." King Durawa hesitated, but eventually did as she instructed. As he gazed into the mirror, his eyes widened in shock. "Abomination!" King Durawa cried out. "What did you see, my son?" the old woman asked calmly. "I saw Daratu, my father's loyal servant," the king said, his voice shaking. But he wasn't loyal at all. He was revealing the secret of the kingdom to an enemy. The king put his hands on his head, overwhelmed by the betrayer. Before he could ask the old woman anything more, she vanished right before his eyes. Confused and scared, King Durawa immediately sent one of his servants to call Daratu, hoping to confront him. But before the servant could reach Daratu's home, news reached at the palace. Daratu was dead. King Durawa was more lost than ever. His trusted advisor was gone, and the old woman had disappeared as mysteriously as she had come. With his son still missing, the young king didn't know where to turn for help. Days passed, and King Durawa couldn't rest. He kept thinking about the old woman and the mirror. One night, in his dream, the same old woman appeared to him. This time she was calm, her eyes filled with kindness. "My son," she said softly, "all is not lost. There is still hope for your kingdom and your heir. Return to the forest near your father's grave. There you will find the answers you seek." The next morning, King Durawa gathered his bravest warrior and journeyed to the forest. They reached the place where his father was buried. As they stood in silence, a strange wind blew through the trees. Suddenly, King Durawa heard the sound of soft crying. He followed the sound until he reached a large tree. There, hidden among the roots, was a small wooden box. King Durawa opened the box and found a letter written by his father, King Daramatu. The letter explained that the throne had many hidden enemies, but there was one person who had been protecting the kingdom all along: the king's son, the missing heir. The king's son has been taken away by loyal guards to keep him safe from those who wanted to harm the royal family. The old woman who appeared in the palace was a guardian spirit sent by the ancestors to remind King Durawa of the true path to protecting his kingdom. With new hope, King Durawa searched deeper into the forest until he found his son, hidden in a cave, safe and well. Overjoyed, he brought his son back to the palace, where they were reunited. Peace was restored in Amatura, and the villagers who had fled returned to the village. King Durawa learned that true wisdom comes from understanding the past, and that the future of the kingdom depended on the safety of his family and the loyalty of those around him. From that day forward, King Durawa ruled with greater strength and wisdom, knowing that the future of the throne was secured. Thank you for watching my video. Kindly subscribe to this channel, like this video, and please turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload more interesting stories like this. Thank you. I will see you next time. Bye for now.